Welcome, everyone. My name is Joe Morganti. I'm a Senior Account Manager here at AlfaPeople. In this two-part Dynamics 365 webinar series, we will be displaying how we can help streamline business processes and optimize contact center operations, real solutions that can make a difference. Today, we will focus on the Dynamics 365 contact center benefits from a business decision maker perspective. Next week, on November 13th, we will be presenting the technical decision maker perspective with more technical details. During the webinar, feel free to use the chat to ask your questions. Our team will be monitoring the chat and answering the questions there. And now let's get started with Vanessa Palomo from Microsoft. Enjoy your session.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This is the Dynamics 365 Contact Center webinar hosted by Microsoft and AlfaPeople. Unlocking the power of Dynamics 365 Contact Center, streamlining without the complexity. My name is Vanessa Palomo. I am one of your hosts and presenters today. I am a BizApps technical specialist focusing on customer service and contact center with Microsoft. I'm joined by two wonderful co-presenters, Felipe Melo de Souza, Senior Solution Architect from AlfaPeople, as well as Flavio da Silva, Country Manager from AlfaPeople. Here's a quick overview of our agenda today. First, our introduction, why Microsoft for the contact center. We'll move into what exactly the Microsoft D365 Contact Center is, contact center pain points. We'll actually have a live demonstration of our D365 Contact Center in action. We'll go through the behind the scenes and then how to get started. Now, obviously, Microsoft is a well-known name, either from your usage of productivity tools such as Excel, PowerPoint, and Word, or even through unified communications with Teams. But Microsoft is also the trusted leader in business applications and low-code solutions. Did you know that 70% of those customers are in Fortune 500 companies? Over 500,000 customers are using business application products right now. And up to date, we also have over 40,000 customers that have already been using Copilot capabilities, generative AI in Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. We are bringing over 30 years of experience and history providing CRM and ERP solutions to our customers. Now, Dynamics 365 is the only business platform that natively integrates with M365, Microsoft Azure, Azure Cloud Services, and Microsoft Power Platform. It's a hub for work, productivity, and collaboration that opens the door to innovation every day. Our solution provides a full tech stack to support both tech adoption and tech capability building, and ultimately increasing your chance as an organization to actually succeed in the marketplace by providing unparalleled integrations, architectural coherence, and openness and extensibility. All of our products are built on top of Azure and with a common data model, so we allow for a lot of flexibility, interoperability, and the Dynamics customer service and contact center workload is built on this technology stack that continuously brings forth results for all of our customers involved. As we see within the realm of the contact center and customer service, service excellence is not just nice to have. It's an essential pillar of business success and with a profound impact on customers and your bottom line. But there has been a clear gap between what is possible and what is typical. I'd like you guys to all think back. When was the last time that you contacted your bank, your phone company, even your favorite retailer? What was that experience like? How do you wish it was different? For many consumers and customers, unfortunately, the customer experience is broken, that service experience. And customers prefer to having access to self-service when they're able, but instead encounter primitive chatbots that can't answer their questions or a maze of automated menus on phones. They want flexibility to reach out in the channel that's most convenient to them, but they get a different experience every time or feel like they are starting over every time the phone clicks. And sometimes when they're finally bypassed, all the menus to finally speak to a human, they're stuck either on hold, transferred multiple times, or forced to repeat their issues and questions again. These service gaps are not just inconveniences, they are costly missteps. And with self-service deflection rates lingering below 45%, businesses miss the opportunity to efficiently resolve issues, leading to an over-reliance on human agents. But even there, the strains show as agent attrition soars higher than 45%, revealing a deeper discontentment within the service ecosystem. The global financial toll is staggering. Poor service tends to cost companies an estimated 3.7 trillion per year, a testament to the profound impact of service quality and the bottom line. Now, depending on the service they receive, customers can either become lifelong shoppers or they will leave your business for good. It is the companies that have become truly customer obsessed that have seen 80% more market share growth, 60% increase in customer retention, 70% profit growth, and 60% growth in revenue. It is those companies that are truly changing their business processes to be customer centric and centric on the customer experience moving forward that are seeing the benefits. But today, customer service is not built to satisfy the customer. And how does this affect your business? Disconnected experiences and inability to get support on customers' terms are leading to decreased engagement and brand loyalty. Manual tools and systems are leading to reduced productivity and low fix rates and very long case resolution times. And then limited insights and reactive decision making and multi-vendor system complexities are leading to high operational cost. So why choose Microsoft for your contact center? The first, it's a step towards vendor consolidation. And the idea of less complexity in the contact center, more simplicity, allows you to trying to get to the point where you can get all of this from one vendor. And right now, Microsoft is the only vendor that can do all of this. Second, we are infusing Copilot from end to end. So this isn't saying that you need to go buy another generative AI element. This is saying that you get Copilot for your agents with the cost of our contact center licenses. And third, but certainly not least, we are built for reliability and scalability, as we are built natively on the Azure cloud to meet you and your organization at any phase that you currently are and to help you continuously grow. And here are some of our customers that are just as excited about the Dynamics 365 Contact Center as us. They are either in the middle of deployments or have already deployed the Dynamics Contact Center. We do have a number of customer stories that we are able to share with you guys. So if you would like that, please let us know at the end of the webinar. With that, I will be passing the baton to my AlfaPeople counterparts to continue our presentation.
Thank you, Vanessa. Hi, everyone. My name is Flavio Silva. I'm a country manager with AlfaPeople, and it's my pleasure to be here today with you to discuss Dynamics 365 Contact Center. Before going to the main subject, I would like to use this slide to present very quickly the most important aspects of our company. AlfaPeople is a global company with a presence in 14 countries. We are 100% focused on Microsoft Business Solutions. Every year, as you may know, Microsoft selects the most strategic partners across the globe to be part of the Microsoft Inner Circle group. And AlfaPeople is part of this group for 15 years now. AlfaPeople has been implementing Microsoft ERP, CRM, and Power Platform for more than 20 years. And as you can see here, every month we deliver more than 70,000 hours in services. And in terms of contact centers, we have experience with small, medium, and large contact centers. And we have special offers and packages to address contact center customer services needs and implementations. Before going to Dynamics 365 Contact Center, let's take a look in this typical contact center infrastructure components that we understand that create some friction. Analyzing the typical contact center infrastructure, we can see that between the customer and the agent, we have some components that can create some friction in this relationship. Depending on the channel chosen by the customer, their experience with our contact centers can be completely disconnected from the holistic process. Channels, self-service tools, and routing rules can make the customer and the agent lives very complicated because they are not integrated. Something started in one channel may not be seen in the other channels, and the customer experience can be completely different depending on the combination of channels, self-services, and routing capabilities. On top of that, siloed data and fragmented systems bring additional challenges for agents to serve the customers and for supervisors and leaders to manage their teams with reports and dashboards. With that said, we can go now and check a little bit more what are the main components for a traditional call center, because understanding those components, we will see the benefits of going to Dynamics 365 Contact Center. When I think about the traditional contact center, the first component we see here is the carrier, right? We need a phone number, and the carrier is the one providing this phone number. Once I have the phone number, I need a PBX to manage our inbound and outbound calls and to route internal communications and manage this specific part of the voice communication. We can have IVR to automate some level of screening or triage, right? We can program some ways for the system to do that. After that, we need an ACD to route calls according to some criteria. Depending on the customer selection, we can send this call to a specific or transfer this call to specific groups or specific person. Once this person received the call, we need CTI, computer telephony integration, to integrate your telephony system to your CRM or customer service system. So you also need a CRM to actually put in place a contact center system. And we are talking a lot about the voice channel, but the point is today, the customer has many, many options to contact us. And maybe they prefer using SMS, sending an email, entering our portal, chatbots, whatever. And today we need to have the omni-channel part of the communication with the customer inside our contact center. And we need a component specifically for that. The workforce manages the other component we need to optimize staff scheduling and resource allocations. So especially for our team, talking directly with the customer. When you go to the supervisors or managers, for sure, these two capabilities are important for them, are crucial for them. So they have to have the call recording capability in place to make sure they can monitor what's going on. And in some cases, depending on the regulations, it's completely mandatory for us. And the quality monitoring. So to make sure our supervisors and managers can go into the call and understand what's going on and check the quality of that communication with the customer. For sure, once you have the customer talking to our agents or maybe being in contact with our self-service components, we need the knowledge base. So information about our product, our procedures, they have to be available for agents in the systems to provide the best service to the customer. And for sure, system integrations. So as you mentioned in the slide before, siloed information, multiple systems, they are not good for the customer services. So usually contact centers, they need a lot of integrations with existing systems to make sure the agents, they have the correct information available to provide the proper customer services. And at the very end, everything is running. Now our managers and supervisors, they want to check what's going on. Analytics, reporting, dashboards about our business. As you can see here, the traditional call center requires many different components and sometimes many different providers. And when you think about the quality of the customer services, this complexity actually can affect negatively this process, this whole process. Now answering the question, what is Dynamics 365 Contact Center? Long story short, is the simplification of the previous slide into a very comprehensive and easy to use system. So basically, it's the Microsoft Contact Center solution that boosts the customer experience. Why? First, because it's an end-to-end solution. This means that if we start with a phone number and you need a carrier, Microsoft can be your carrier. From the phone number, you need, for example, multiple channels. Microsoft can provide multiple channels. All the channels you need. After that, you need an IVR with chatbot and intelligent assistance. Microsoft will provide that for you. So using Copilot, using intelligence, AI, to bring conversational IVRs, no matter the channel, if it's voice, if it's text, email, so you can use bots for that. Unified routing, so it's no longer only about the customer selected. Now we are talking about unified routing, considering the conversation, the intent, the sentiment analysis. So everything actually is considered before we route it to an agent. When you go to the agent now is using a Microsoft solution, integrating multiple systems, bringing the conversations I had with the customer before, the historical information. Everything is there, and using AI to simplify your conversation with the customer. And at the very end, bringing the strategic dashboards and reports. So the difference here is everything end-to-end is inside Microsoft Cloud. So instead of dealing with multiple systems, multiple components, multiple providers, you can have everything in one single provider, which is Microsoft. The second element important here is because it's a Copilot first. If you're familiar with Copilot, you know that Copilot is like ChatGPT in the context of your company. And if you already played with a ChatGPT, I'm sure you did, you can actually bring these capabilities to help your agents. So if you're talking to the customer and the customer is asking questions about the product, the procedures, about his or her records, ChatGPT, in this case, Copilot, can help me bring this, summarizing the conversations and summarizing the historical communication. If the customer is asking information about other elements, again, Copilot is helping me to understand the whole story of this customer and what he's asking for. And on top of that, if the customer is not actually talking to an agent, but is talking to our conversational IVR, most of this knowledge is available. And we have a conversational bot actually bringing the answers to their questions. So you see this conversational IVR working in a few minutes. And the third element here, it's because it's cloud-based. So, which means that you don't have to buy servers, so you don't have to buy infrastructure or on-prem elements. So you go to the Microsoft Cloud, is everything there. So if you need that specific component, you can enable that component to start using that. and after that you can go for your next level. So, and this is a very important element because you guys are about to see the IVR, the conversational IVR demo, and maybe part of you can say, oh, it's too much for me. I don't think I'm that level yet. Sometimes it may be too futuristic or far from my reality. I think one important thing that you guys should consider is the adoption levels and the scalability diagram I'm presenting here. Because again, you're about to see something that seems futuristic, but it's something that is happening right now. And you can be there. Maybe you're not going to be there in 2 months, 1 year, but maybe in 3. So if you start with the correct technology, which is Microsoft, you can start with this basic contact center capability level 1, but you know that your platform can actually sustain the growth, can sustain the scalability. So you start with the number 1, and in a few months you are the number 2. Now we have customer record integration, more channels, and suddenly you're the number 3, and you can actually move on and go to the highest level of automation using Microsoft 365 Contact Center. The important point here is you can start small and grow fast since you select the correct platform. And Microsoft is that technology because you can start small, and once you are actually enabling more and more components, you are growing very quickly in an agile way. So now we are about to go to the conversational IVR case. And this is a case that we created for you. We are bringing Contoso Industrial Products. So this company is global provider of industrial equipment and materials. They face some difficulties related to the customer experience, and they identify the opportunity to improve their service quality using Microsoft D365 Contact Center. To guide the implementation, Contoso considered the main stakeholders' pain points. So talking to the business decision makers, the main problem was, for sure, the poor customer satisfaction, right? So the interactions were not good and the customer was not happy with that relationship. And for sure, everything related to costs is something that concerns the business decision maker. Talking to the contact center supervisor, she was very concerned about the limited process transparency. She could not see what was going on. And for the team itself, it was very hard to train the team because of many systems, many procedures, manual elements there. So, and at the very end, they don't have sufficient managerial reports to understand what was going on. For the agents, for sure, fragmented information, a lot of systems, right? Complicated workflows because everything was so manual, right? And inadequate data availability. So they have to ask other departments, and it was very hard actually to solve some of those customers' requests. Talking to the technical decision maker, you could see that the main problem was related to the complexity of the technical architecture. So very complicated, numerous components, and for sure, costly maintenance. And the most important person here, which is the customer. So at the very end, the customer was unhappy, right? So the workflows very inefficient and limited visibility. So taking longer times to understand what's going on. So at the very end, she was not happy. She or he was not happy. Okay, before going to the conversational IVR demo, it's important to understand that we are bringing this as a voice interaction, but it can be in any of the channels, right? But because it's a conversational IVR, I think it's easier for us to understand how the customer will interact with our self-serve system, right? In this case, you see that we have at least 3 levels of assistance. So we have the self-service, we have the self-service, the customer actually getting information with our bots and solving procedures, asking information by him or herself. We have the second level, which is the assisted services. Now we need a person to help with specific types of requests. And sometimes we need the offline services, which is when we need other departments, for example, to help with approvals or other procedures, we need them to check and to get back to the customer. When you go to this level, you see that Carlos, our customer, is calling Contoso to ask a couple of questions and trigger some procedures. We start with the knowledge base. So Carlos will ask information about products, about procedures. So they are actually general questions, not related to his specific record, but information that we organize in our database. It could be our website with a lot of pieces of information there. It can be a repository with a lot of PDFs, and the system can help with that, the self-service part. The second group here is the customer records. So Carlos will ask questions about his records, right? In this case, orders. It could be payments. It could be address. It could be many other elements related to his records inside the company. The third level is where Carlos will trigger some procedures. In this case, he will change his order, but it could be update my address, update my phone number, or something different. The fourth example is when Carlos said, okay, but now I need to talk to your agent because I want to discuss my project. And now we are going to transfer that call to an agent, and they start the conversation there. And the fifth level is, okay, this case, I need a signature from my legal department. I will trigger this internal process. It can take 2 days. Now we go to the offline services. Okay, with that said, I think now we are ready to go to the conversational IVR demo. Let's get started.
Hello. Thank you for calling Contoso. It's very good to have you here. Please tell me, why are you calling today?
Our company just bought a new XT500. Could you clarify what tools are needed to assemble it?
For assembling the XT500, you will need a 3/16 wrench, pliers, and a 5mm screwdriver. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
Could you confirm if XT500 supports up to 20 units?
The XT500 supports up to 10 units, not 20 units. This is the answer that you needed?
I see. Do you know if the XT700 supports up to 20 units?
Yes, the XT700 supports up to 20 units. This is the answer that you needed?
Okay, I think I need to change my order from XT500 to XT700. Is there still time for it?
Yes, this is still possible, because your order have not been sent yet. Just to confirm, would you like to make changes in your XT500 order with a tracking number ending in 4566?
Yes.
I will need you to confirm your identity by entering your 4-digit company PIN. Please, can you tell me your company PIN?
2008.
This is not the right PIN. Let us try again. Please, can you tell me your company PIN?
Oh, sorry. 2009.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Just to confirm, would you like to change your order tracking number ending in 4566 and replace the XT500 with the XT700?
That is correct.
The order amount will change from $9,500 to $12,500. Do you confirm the change?
Yes.
The change has been completed. You will receive your order in 5 business days. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yes, I would like to discuss a new project we will implement in our company. Could I talk to one of your experts?
Sure. To ensure I will transfer to the correct expert, could you explain what kind of project you would like to discuss?
Absolutely. We plan to replace 5 XT500 in our company.
Okay. I am transferring you to one of our experts.
Hi, I am Felipe from the Contoso project team. How can I help you today?
Okay, now that you saw that presentation, I think it's easier for us to understand how the stakeholders' pain points were addressed. If you go here with the business decision maker perspective, you remember she was very concerned about the customer satisfaction and the cost. So first, now we have the system, and the system providing more accuracy and quick answers to the customer. And for sure, the customer satisfaction now it's much better than before. In terms of costs, because now we can train more quickly the users, and you can provide systems better accuracy for those agents to deal with the customers. Now, for sure, we have a very interesting impact in costs. But on top of that, for example, now they want to go to 24/7 coverage, and the system is ready for this kind of thing. If they want to go to multi-language, before that, we need bilingual people to provide the specific services. Now, depending on the questions, depending on the interaction with the customer, our conversational IVR is ready to go to multi-language services. Now, going to the contact center supervisor, you remember that part of the concern was related to the time spent training people. And now we are providing systems, we are providing integrations, knowledge base, AI, to help those users to be more productive. On top of that, now she has the visibility to understand and to control a little bit better what's happening in the contact center department. And in terms of workforce management, the system is providing tools, good tools for her to manage and to provide the correct team available at the correct time. Thinking about the agents, if you remember, they didn't have information, they didn't know what happened with the customer before. Now, Contoso is providing a system with a lot of information, with everything summarized, because again, using Copilot AI, the system is able to summarize the last conversations. System is able to bring the most important and relevant information about the customer showing immediately there. Even thinking about the sentiment, if the customer is happy or mad, we can see it because the system is able to measure that kind of thing. So the combination of integration with the systems you have and AI can actually make the agent life much easier. In terms of customer, now we are providing multiple channels, and now they are completely integrated. They can start a conversation with an email or SMS, call to follow up what's going on, and everything is actually integrated. And because of our conversational IVR capabilities, most of the questions or requests can be solved directly with the IVR, right? So which means that if they want to solve something 24/7 in a different time, the system is available for them. And for sure, providing many different channels make the customer life easier because they can simply get information during the time they are available. And finally, thinking about the technical decision maker, if you remember, the main concern was about the complexity of the environment and the costs related to this. So now with Dynamics, he replaced this complexity with one provider and everything inside Microsoft Cloud. Now that you saw the conversational IVR demo and understood the components that impacting the business decision makers and the business stakeholders, let's check a little bit the technical elements behind the scenes. And now I'm going to invite Felipe Melo to present to you all those components. Felipe?
So hello, everybody, and thank you, Flavio, for this brilliant presentation. My name is Felipe. I work here in AlfaPeople as a senior solution architect, and today we are going to unbox Contact Center and all these features, that brilliant features that Microsoft have brought to us on this past year. So this is a very exciting application, and we are going to check piece by piece what we have inside it. And to start to talk about the contact center solution, we need to talk about Copilot. Copilot, it's an OpenAI based solution. And we have all the agents, the human agents, the customers, the leaders of the operations, and they are all connected in Copilot. Copilot is reading and writing into all of these pieces. And it's a narrative AI powered by Microsoft inside your contact center. So we have three key elements of customer services interconnected, interrelated, as you can see in this screen. So first, Copilot, with this kind of feedback loop that you see in the screen, capture digital signs across all of these elements. So all across the voice, the messaging, and everything. And then pass this to the data source that run in your contact center. And second, Copilot becomes the unifying force for connecting and synthesizing all of these data and making it available instantly in context. And third, Copilot takes action through recommendation, automation, and insights that can be used to drive more efficient service. So again, the Dynamics 365 Contact Center, it's a Copilot-based contact center. Now you have a Copilot for every human agent, for every supervisor, and even for your customers. And from now on, we will see how to implement the contact center solutions. We have two ways to implement it. The first one is the contact center as a service. And when we are talking about contact center as a service, imagine that you have Microsoft with all your tools from end to end. Microsoft can give you every solution that you need from end to end in your contact center, from the channel that the customer is using to access your contact center until the BI, the dashboard that you need for your supervisor and manager. All the solutions are here, and we will see how every piece of this is structured in just a moment. And the other type of implementation that we have for Dynamics 365 Contact Center is bring your own CRM. So Contact Center can be embedded in your own CRM. And we will also see how these can correlate with other Microsoft solutions in some of the slides that will be presented today. And for start, now unboxing our Contact Center, we will talk about the Contact Center as a service solution. And first, we'll talk about the channels that the customers have to access your knowledge base and inside your company. So let's start talking about the customers. Now we can have a modern contact center where the customer can choose whatever channel he or she wants to access your company, to contact your company. So we have here the live chat capability where you can put this live chat in your website, for example. We also have other tools that can be connected to Copilot. For example, in the social media, we can connect Copilot in the email, SMS, in the voice with an IVR, with IoT, and even in Microsoft Teams. So everything starts with the customer choosing the right channel. And with Microsoft Contact Center, you can deploy for your customer whatever channel he wants. Then after this, he will be received by an intelligent assistant, a chatbot that have access to all your bases and also access to your previous calls, and then to the customer previous calls. And he can answer everything that is needed for the customer. And even if at some point this chatbot can't help the customer anymore, then the chatbot can route this to the right agent based on some skills that the specific agent have. And at last, of course, the supervisor of this contact center can have access to all these calls to check how their agents are doing, right? And as you can see here in the bottom of the slide, we also have generative AI looking through all of it. Then we are not talking about that bot that we just do a question and it answers, or that bot when you need to type 1 or 2 to go to a specific route or direction. We are talking about generative AI. So the AI can produce data and produce voice as this AI understands what the customer needs. And as you can see here in this slide, we have some interesting highlights about the voice capabilities of contact center. The Microsoft Teams is embedded in the contact center. So we have this web version of Teams where the agents can access the customer interactions and also the customer call or even the customer messages. And this is very useful even when we are consulting and transfer the calls, because for new agents, they can easily coming up to speed in your contact center. They can consult with supervisors during a call and provide accurate responses, and also increase first call resolution. That's the main idea for this voice solution of Microsoft. It's an IVR. The customer can call if the bot does not feels or does not goes as expected with the customer. The bot can transfer and then route for a specific agent, and the agent will have access to every part, or every transcript of the call, every part of the call, and can help to answer the customer better. In this next part that we are going to see, it's about the Azure Communication Services and how this correlates to the contact center. The Azure Communication Services is the piece of this implementation where we will decide if Microsoft will be our voice carrier or if we are going to bring our own carrier to the contact center. So imagine that we have our contact center solution, and then we have Azure Communication Services. If we have our own carrier already, we can just connect our carrier with Azure Communication Services, and then we will be able to use Contact Center as our solution. But if we want to just have the Contact Center as a service, we want Microsoft to be our carrier, we can also have that. So it's just a matter of configure our Azure Communication Services that is already connected with Contact Center, and everything else from then on, every Copilot and generative AI capabilities will be present there. The next part of our implementation involves Microsoft Dataverse and also Microsoft Azure Cloud, how this correlates to everything. Well, when we are talking Microsoft Dataverse, we are talking about a very scalable database, but also not just a database. More than that, we have on Dataverse a layer of security, another of logic, another of data, another of storage, and also another of integration. And this powerful database also is the house of Contact Center. Everything happens inside the Microsoft Dataverse. And Microsoft Dataverse, it's a local database. In the heart, it's an SQL database, but also with low-code capabilities that provides much more than just a database. That's why Microsoft Dataverse, it's so fantastic, and it's the perfect database for a contact center. And when we are talking about Azure AI services, we have some main key points here. For example, we have pre-built AI with services like Azure Cognitive Services that can be connected with the contact center. We have conversational AI using Azure Bot Framework that will help us to also leverage the capabilities to make our conversational even more fluid. And we have custom AI with Azure Machine Learning that can power your knowledge bases and also can power your process on the contact center. And all the features in Azure can be connected to Azure OpenAI, also already connected with all these other services, and be easily provided with this kind of features, more and more conversational capabilities without the need of just typing something or saying a specific word. Here we are talking about empowers our IVR to be generative in all kind of answers. The next piece that we are going to analyze is the Copilot Studio. So how to create our chatbots and even our voice bots. The IVR is the solution from Microsoft to alter our chatbot. So even that we use a topic structure with the contact center and Copilot capabilities, we are able to ask for the IVR to give generative answers. So we can configure these topics in a way that it can go not only from the topic 1 to topic 2, but if at some point of the conversation, the contact center IVR understands that it needs to follow up to the topic 5 and go back to the topic 2, it can already be done. Or also, if the IVR says that this is just a consult to the knowledge base and then an answer based on generative answers, it can also be done in this fantastic IVR. And here is what we have in the box. So when we are talking about contact center IVR from Microsoft, these three pieces are what compose it. First, Dynamics 365 Contact Center, so the application itself. Then Copilot Studio, the way to alter our bot. And then Power Automate, where we can increase our processes using Power Automate. This is what our conversational IVR means in terms of the Microsoft conversational IVR with generative answers. Here in this slide, you can see what are the capabilities also not only for voice, but also for chatbot. Everything that you do for the chatbot, for the voice chatbot, can also be done for messaging. You can see in the left the channels that we can deploy, where we can deploy the chatbot. For example, Facebook, WhatsApp, even Apple messaging. And then the bot can answer by voice or can even answer by chat. This is your configuration, your decision to make when you are altering your chatbot. The next piece that we are going to see is about the routing itself. How can the bot knows how he is route this specific call? And it's important here to understand that the bot will be hearing the informations about the customer and will be hearing what the customer is saying. And based on the conversation, he can decide for where he wants to route, for what queue he wants to route that specific call. Here you can see a customer that can, for example, open a chat, an SMS, or even a Teams call. And then this customer have been received for the intelligent conversational bots. Then if the bot cannot answer what the customer needs, or if at some point of the conversation it becomes too complex for him to understand, he can route to the right person with accuracy. For example, here we have the route based on skills. With a high precision, the IVR can understand what skills are needed to answer that specific question. So based on parameters, we can configure these agent skills and tell the chatbot in which moment the chatbot needs to route for that specific agent. And then when the chatbot identifies the right skills, And after we have configured the right queues for that specific skills, the chatbot can easily route. In this part of the screen, now we are seeing the Contact Center Admin Center app, where we can configure these skills. In the screen, you can see some options. For example, manage the users, the skills of the users, create new skills in the skill hub. So everything for this configuration is possible. And when we are configuring the routing, it's also possible to configure the skills routing or even the unified routing for the specific user. So it is possible to configure two kinds of routing, and they can live in parallel as well. And about the agent experience, so okay, we understood that the customer have channels, but how the agents can collaborate in the contact center solution. Here you can see an example of how an agent can start answering a call. So the agent at this moment that you are looking at this screen is just waiting for a call to be routed. He have in the left pane, of course, he have the work items that he needs to work on. But let's check now how he can easily answer a call. So in the top right, you're going to see that a call will start to ring. At that moment, the agent can accept or reject this call. When he accepts, the contact center immediately transfers him to the right page of this call, where the user can already see in the left pane the transcript of the conversation, everything that had been talked, and so the agent can understand the customer problems already looking through the conversation. So you start the conversation from that point on, right? And even when the agent starts to communicate with the customer, as Copilot is hearing and reading from this entire part, it starts to write the conversational summary and even the timeline highlights for that specific problem if they are, for example, in a case, working in a case together. And if the agent needs to send an email, Copilot can help the agents with the email assist to write the email as just the customer needs. And this is look and feel of the contact center as a service. But imagine that you have no interest in have this as a contact center as a services if you want to have your own CRM, your own application. Well, here we have an example of how the contact center application from Microsoft can be embedded in another CRM. You can already see that the same things that we got in the contact center as a service, we also have here. So if you already have your CRM, you can also have the same sentiment analysis, conversational summary. If you close the screen, you also see the timeline highlights, everything that's embedded in your own CRM if you need it. The next key point of our implementation is the Power Platform solution. The Power Platform is a suite of apps from Microsoft, and some of them you already know very well, like Power BI and Power Apps and Power Automate. Power Pages is something that is also very nice from Microsoft if you want, for example, to build a web page, a portal of self-service for your customers, for your vendors, and all the Power Platform can be leveraged with the contact center solution because you're already in the Power Platform. As part of the Power Platform is the Dataverse. You already have some credits for using a builder too, and even data connectors to connect to other data that you already have, even on-premise data, for example, on-premise SQLs. And the last piece that we are going to see is the Contact Center Supervisor Manager Dashboard. Well, we understand that the supervisor wants to see whatever have happened from the moment that the customer starts talking or writing in the channel, even a voice channel or in a message channel, from the moment the agent have answered that specific question, or if a specific agent is not answering the question for the customer, they are just routing or assigning the cases for someone else. So here the supervisor can understand from point to point, for end to end, what is happening in his contact center. No matter which leg of the journey a customer is, no matter which channel they reach you, we have the analytics to help you. And in this screen, you can see how you can check what are the skills of your agents to solve specific problems. In the screen, you can see that we have a case, we are working on a case, and I need to assign this conversation for a specific user that have a specific skill. When the supervisor can easily find this user and route a specific case to him with the agent finder and also with the easily assign to agents. And not only assign features, right? What every supervisor manager wants is analytics. And we have a dashboard already ready when you start to use Contact Center. And this dashboard will be populated with all the interesting information. It also have auto refresh and pause updates already connected. It have interactive drill downs, but you can see what are the execution calls. You can see the execution calls, the time from the execution calls. You can see also if you have any unassigned work items, what is the most queue time for a specific queue. So you can leverage all your contact center. You can check the data from all your contact center. And it's not only that. This is what we have. We have much information here, but if you want a piece of information that is not present here, this can be easily extended with Power BI or even with native reports presented in the contact center. So this is it. We have been passed through all the steps of the implementation of the contact center as a services. Now we understand what we have in all the pieces. We have unboxed it all. And the idea now is to proceed with how to start. If I want the Dynamics 365 Contact Center, how can I start working with it? And for that part on, I will invite Flavio to continue our talk.
Thank you, Philip. That was a great explanation of the components provided by the 365 Contact Center. Now that we are approaching the end of our presentation, it's time to talk about how to start. The good news is because it's a modular solution and 100% cloud, your company can prioritize it as needed. So you can identify where you are and identify what you need and select the correct components. The other good news is AlfaPeople has many templates to start your contact center project. So instead of going there and have to learn things alone and to decide about the components, you can count on our experience to help you in the construction of your roadmap, prioritizing elements and define what's first step, second step, and so on. So you can use the QR code on the screen to share with us more details about your case, and we'll be more than happy to lead a discovery session and discuss the best approach for your case. Now we came to the end of our webinar. Our team will keep answering your questions on the chat. And on behalf of Microsoft and AlfaPeople, I would like to thank you all for your time today and say that it was a pleasure to share this content with you. I hope it can help you with your technical and business decisions, and we look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.